Great. Thank you all so much for coming out here today. My name is Roddy Flynn. I'm the Executive Director of the Delaware State Broadband Office, and we're so excited to be here celebrating this incredible threshold moment in our work to connect every Delawarean to high-speed internet. So to kick us off, I'm going to introduce our host today, the person who runs this incredible building, this incredible foundation, Dr. Stephanie Wright from the Delaware Aerospace Education Foundation. Dr. Wright?
Well, good morning. It is my pleasure to have you all here today as our guests. And I would like to thank all of you for coming and welcome Governor Carney and all of the officials and businesses that are here and all of our guests. It's pretty special. If you look behind you and you see our statue, that was done by Charles Parks, the late Charles Parks. And the title of the statue is Wisdom Begins with Wonder. And if you look at all the children atop, there's 5 different nationalities you can look and see, but internationally, we are now connected through broadband in a way that we can reach all of those children all over, not only Delaware children, not only Pennsylvania and the East Coast, but also children around the world. It's joyous. The first one that we had, yeah, I agree. I will be very brief, but when we have our little building in the back, the outpost is 2,000 square feet. This is 42,000 square feet. We sometimes used satellite dishes. We used our phones. We used whatever we could when children come, because we have we reach close to 17 or 18,000 people a year. This is iTech, Innovation Technology Exploration Center, and what better place to have this wonderful broadband connection. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank to thank all of you, but also to thank my board, my advisory council, my staff, and all of the almost 6,000 homes on behalf of all of us. Thank you, and the businesses, the organizations, I guess just the general public for allowing this to be at our building and all of this area. It's really super. Smyrna was one of the last on the map, and when this first came out and I saw the governor's announcement and our board members saw it, we were looking and checking, and we could see right on it were our buildings, and we started checking into it and doing the best that we could to reach whoever could help us out. We ended up with Verizon, and they have been wonderful with Fios, and all of it is just great. So anyway, I again want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank Governor Carney, who's known me for quite some time, and I him. And at this time, just remember that afterwards, we're going to do a very brief, quick tour. The building is not in use yet. It will open in '24. We've had a lot of holdups with construction, but this is for the state of Delaware. It's in the center of the state of Delaware so that all can reach it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. And next, we have the man responsible ultimately for this project and for all of our internet infrastructure in Delaware, our Chief Information Officer, Greg Lane.
Thank you, Roddy, and thanks to everyone for being here. This is an exciting time. Delaware has been working to expand high-speed internet access across the state for several years. I knew from the first day on the job here at DTI that internet affordability and access were top priorities for Governor Carney. It was part of his original action plan for Delaware back before he officially took office as governor. I want to thank him, and of course, our federal delegation, our state legislators, for supporting our efforts to make this happen for Delawareans. To give you a little historical perspective, DTI has been on this journey for nearly a decade, beginning with efforts to increase fiber infrastructure with the state's initial financial contribution of about $1.5 million, which resulted in over $30 million in private investment and 700 miles of fiber running from Middletown to Georgetown and from Georgetown to Seaford and Lewis. In 2017, we began a wireless pilot project that expanded in 2018 to focus on public-private partnership opportunities to address the gaps in high-speed internet availability throughout the state, particularly in rural Kent and Sussex counties. DTI, supported by the legislature, provided funding for startup costs of approximately $2 million to design, build, operate, and commercialize a wireless network. DTI partnered with BlueSurf to create a wireless network and leveraged state-owned towers as part of that process. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic and to address access to high-speed internet for remote learning, DTI partnered with Delaware Department of Education and CTC Technologies to establish the Connect Delaware student program. As a result of investments made by Governor Carney, as part of the CARES Act, DTI was able to provide more than 25,000 devices and services for students and educators throughout Delaware to help deliver remote learning. This program supported student success and addresses the affordability gap by providing free broadband services for low-income students in districts and charters throughout Delaware. The program covered the cost of equipment, necessary installation, and monthly service charges. Services and equipment for the program were provided by Verizon, Comcast Xfinity, AT&T, and Mediacom. Today, thanks to the investment of $33 million in ARPA funds, 6,000 homes and businesses now have high-speed internet access. This means thousands of people will be able to train for higher, better paying jobs. Thousands of students will be able to engage in remote learning. Thousands of seniors and others will be able to get access to better medical care through telehealth. There are also intangible benefits. We saw during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic how important virtual social interactions can be. Though the lockdown is over, there are still many Delawareans who are homebound or perhaps living with a disability who have greater access to community and support because of this investment. But our work is far from over. We've released a plan for an additional $107 million investment from the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment, or BEAD program, which we hope will make Delaware the first state in the country with universal high-speed internet access. We're going to do that by connecting the remaining approximately 8,600 addresses. You can review that plan on our website at broadband.delaware.gov. We also need to look at all of the other barriers Delawareans face in getting the full benefit of the digital society. We're currently in the process of qualifying for a $12 million federal grant focused on digital equity. With that funding, we can look at whether internet is affordable for all families, or tech jobs accessible to everyone in Delaware, and how we can grow digital skills for marginalized populations. There's still a lot of work to be done. I want to take a moment to thank Tammy Shelton and Marsha Jones. Tammy's back there. They've been with this ARPA project since the beginning, working every day with their service providers, making sure projects are on time and on budget. I also want to thank our wonderful executive director of the Delaware Broadband Office, Roddy Flynn. Roddy came in and absolutely hit the ground running for us. I also want to recognize our GIS and data analysis team, including Mike Townsend, Kim Cloud, and Deb Sullivan, and our consultant team from CTC. Making this investment successful has involved the work of many excellent state employees, some of whom did not have broadband access themselves. We thank you all for your efforts to connect every Delaware home and business. So thank you very much. It is now my honor to introduce my boss and a person whose vision to expand high-speed internet access across Delaware has brought us all here today, Governor John Carney.
Thank you very much, Greg. This indeed is a happy day. I'm tempted a little bit to quote our former vice president, now president, when he was referring to what a big deal the Affordable Care Act was, but I'll leave that for another time. It is so exciting. I'm glad Greg took you through the history in terms of our commitment to make sure that every Delawarean had access to high-speed broadband internet. And it goes back to the beginning of the administration, frankly, and before that, when the wire was extended north and south down the spine of the state. I know I'm maybe as happy as our local elected officials from the General Assembly, Senator Hoffner, whose district this is, and Representative Bill Bush, who represents a district very close to here and certainly affected by this project and our efforts to make sure that everybody has broadband access in our state. I'm also glad that Greg mentioned all the DTI people that are here. Somebody who's not here, Jason Clark, who was part of this process early on in getting us started, and he needs to be recognized as well. I also have my federal team here, Greg Patterson and AJ Shaw and their group, and all the great work that they do in making sure that we take advantage of the federal money coming our way. And we do have our federal delegation represented here, Senator Carper, Senator Coons, and Congresswoman Blunt Rochester. Without their support for the bipartisan infrastructure legislation, we wouldn't have the resources to do what we're doing. Simply, as Greg said, we did make a decision to use part of our ARPA money, $33 million, to do the extensions that we're talking about today, which represents almost half of the non-service properties in our state. And we expect to be, our goal is to be the first state, as we are the first state, to have broadband extension, high-speed fiber to every Delawarean who could access that service. And we're delighted to have our partners in doing that. There was a little glitch with respect to a project that the FCC is running where we expect that they will extend service to about 3,000 residents here in our state. Early on in my administration, and then through the pandemic, I learned how important our commitment to bringing broadband extension to homes and families, mostly in rural Delaware. Secretary Skuse and I, who, by the way, this project brought high-speed broadband fiber right to his front door, and he's making a decision whether to connect or not. We went to visit R.C. and J.C. Willen's farm outside of Laurel, Delaware. And as we were touring the farm, we were really focusing on some of the technology that they were using in their combines and their tractors in making sure that they could get the highest yield for what they were growing at that particular time. And it became very clear that having access to high-speed broadband was critical and essential for them to do their work. And they're not the only farmers in our state that need that technology. They had intermittent, I guess at best, broadband at the time, and now they're going to have high-speed broadband fiber right to their front door. And then obviously, as Greg said, during the pandemic, we learned how important it was that families and homes had access to high-speed broadband in enabling their children to get what they weren't able to get because they weren't getting in-person instruction in our classrooms. Increasingly, having access to high-speed broadband is important for everybody to live just a normal existence here in the great state of Delaware. And so today is a happy day that we're here announcing the extension of broadband to these several thousand homes, and that we expect to complete the installation of that broadband in the future, so that Delaware is the first state to enable all residents, homes, and businesses to have extension of high-speed broadband. I'm sure that Rod, first of all, I want to thank Roddy again and his office for the great work that they're doing for organizing this event today, because it is an important celebration and recognition really of the hard work of a lot of folks, and also the partnership that we have with the internet companies, as well as the CWA workers who did most of the installations. To each of you who are going to share some remarks in a moment, thank you very much for that partnership. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Stephanie Wright. Again, this woman is a force of nature, and she's been, yes, you can please put your hands together. I walked in the building. I always know this as a building that's part of the Aerospace Education Foundation. When I walked in the building, I saw a dinosaur there. I didn't think we had spaceships during that era. And Dr. Wright reminded me that this is all about science education, from dinosaurs to space. And so I look forward to including internet extension and the ability to learn through the internet. And I look forward to our tour later on this morning. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Yeah, so it's really exciting. We have 6,000 homes connected, homes and businesses connected through ARPA, and we have about 8,600 left that we plan to connect through BEAD. And so we're really excited to get that work going. And to introduce now some of our partners in this project, in the ARPA project, to start off, Kevin Broadhurst, Comcast Vice President of Government and Regulatory Affairs. Kevin.
Thank you, Roddy, and thank you, Governor Carney, CIO Lane, and all the officials here today to really kind of celebrate this momentous occasion. So we talked about the numbers a bit, 6,000 homes connected, and this really is an impressive number of homes, and to do it in such a quick pace is really an incredible testament to the sense of partnership. We've heard a lot about partnerships today, and the sense of teamwork and collaboration that happens in Delaware. So we finished this project in less than 12 months. So a project of this scale really can't be done that quickly without the incredible partnership that we formed with the state of Delaware, DelDOT, all the other stakeholders in here. They all deserve a round of applause because everybody, there you go. Everybody really saw this issue and decided that we're going to put our best foot forward and move as quickly as we possibly can. And to do this in 12 months is very impressive. So thank you all for your partnership. You deserve a lot of credit for this because we're now able to bring our 10G gig speed internet service to now thousands of more customers, residents, and businesses in Delaware. So I want to talk about two different people that I met over the course of this project. So I had a chance to meet with one of our customers over in Greenwood. A mother, she's a nurse, her husband's a firefighter, two young school-age kids. So I was there when we connected her to fiber broadband service, and to see the look on her face, to see how happy she was the day we connected her, knowing that her kids can now do schoolwork at home. They don't have to go to a library. They don't have to go to a coffee shop. They can have the same broadband access to all their other neighbors already have. To see the look on their face was so impressive. Governor Carney also talked about farming and how the broadband technology can really make their work more efficient. So we've connected a robotics dairy farm down in the Greenwood area of Delaware. And I thought this was a really neat story because he had been a lifelong dairy farmer, but they've installed robotics equipment to really make their work more efficient. And what he told me was that without broadband, robotics just does not work. So I think those kind of stories really kind of put a human face on the work that we're doing. Besides the impressive numbers, just to see the impact it has on people's personal lives and on their businesses is really neat to see. So not only do we work on infrastructure partnerships with the state, but we're also proud to partner with the state on the Affordable Connectivity Program and our Internet Essentials Program, which is the largest and most comprehensive broadband internet connectivity program in the country. Through the Affordable Connectivity Program and through the state's partnership, we're able to now promote this so that people that qualify for our Internet Essentials Program can now get $30 per month through the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program to offset the cost and in many cases provide free broadband services to those people that need it. I'm also proud to say that Delaware was our pilot for Internet Essentials. We started this back in 2011 and have connected cumulatively over 124,000 low-income Delawareans to broadband service through our Internet Essentials program. So that program really is near and dear to my heart, and I'm so glad that Delaware has been such an awesome partner with this. But we're here to talk about rural broadband today, but also Comcast, we continue to invest in this network even beyond the rural broadband piece. So over the last 3 years, we've invested over $165 million to increase capacity of our broadband network, to increase the speeds, because we know we need to stay ahead of the broadband demand curve. Our customers demand more and more capacity and faster speeds every year. And so this influx of capital, this money that's coming in to help expand the rural broadband, this is not just a one-time shot. we continue to invest in this network because we know that we can't stay flat-footed. We need to make sure we're continuing to invest in this network to provide the fastest internet speeds we can possibly bring. And right now, we're in the midst of a national transformative upgrade, too, that when it's all said and done, will provide multi-gigabit symmetrical speeds to all of our residents, regardless of your zip code in Delaware. So Delaware is a very special place for me, obviously. This partnership and this program really is the best rural broadband project we have in our northeastern part of the country. So super proud of the partnership here and just glad to be invited. And thank you all for allowing me to have this opportunity.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from another one of our partners in the ARPA program from Verizon, Eric Fitzgerald-Reed, who's the Verizon Public Policy and State Government Affairs for Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a wonderful backdrop and what a wonderful morning to announce such an important initiative for the first state. My name is Eric Fitzgerald-Reed. I'm the Vice President of Public Policy and State Government Affairs for Verizon for the Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey region. It is quite an honor to join Governor Carney and our state leaders to be part of this important announcement today. Verizon is proud to complete our broadband expansion in Delaware and to be able to offer high-speed broadband service to more residents in Delaware than ever. We believe that broadband is critical for citizens across the country. Broadband is the essential connection for citizens to get online, to pursue job opportunities, for students to obtain educational degrees and certifications, and to connect healthcare providers. Also, to obtain job training, including reskilling and upskilling programs, but most importantly, to connect with our family and our loved ones. Verizon is proud to participate in the Affordable Connectivity Program to help expand broadband access to residents in Delaware and across the United States. This program helps low-income households pay for internet service through the Verizon Forward program. With ACP eligibility and the Verizon Forward program, customers can get free home internet service with no hidden fees, no annual contracts, and no equipment charges, and also, most importantly, no data caps. So we really look forward to participating in this statewide initiative to help ACP awareness and promote digital equity and inclusion in our urban and rural communities throughout the first state. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric. And next up, really exciting, we could do none of this without the highly qualified workforce that we have in Delaware who put safety above everything, get it done on time and on budget. So here from the Communication Workers of America, Local 13101, Mike Watson, the president of our local.
Thank you, Rodney, for having me. Thank you, Governor. Thanks for everyone coming out on this beautiful day. Again, my name's Mike Watson. I am the local president for CWA here in Delaware. I proudly represent the Verizon workers. CWA members are proud to have played a major role in Delaware's successful use of the ARPA funds to connect an additional 6,000 homes. This is just a start. With an additional $107 million in federal funds from the bipartisan infrastructure bill, Delaware can ensure that everyone, and I mean everyone in our state, has access to reliable high-speed internet. And by setting high labor standards for broadband infrastructure projects, we can make sure it's done right and create good family-supporting jobs here in Delaware. Thanks again for having me. Thanks, Governor. Thanks, Rodney. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And our final speaker from another one of our partners during the ARPA program from Mediacom, Thomas Larson.
Thanks, Roddy. Apparently, it's the problem when you get when you get to be old and you have to put on glasses, you lose your speeches. But thank you, Roddy, and thank you, Governor Carney, for this opportunity to be here with you today. When we entered into this contract with the state for our project in 2022, it was the largest grant Mediacom had ever undertaken anywhere in the 22 states we serve. Understandably, we were a little bit nervous going into this project, knowing that we had a very aggressive timeline. Luckily, Governor Carney has assembled what I think is the best broadband team in the business. They have been with us every step of the way, from the initial planning to the completion of this project. I would like to say they held our hand a little bit, but they've been fantastic. They really were there for the citizens of Delaware and continue to be there for them every step of the way. And I'll share a little story. We had an open house in Gumboro at the community center, and I was shocked. We had over 100 families come in that night and ask about the service, when it was going to be available. They actually knew the members of the Delaware Broadband office by name. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. They are that granular with the citizens of Delaware, and that's an amazing, I think, thing that you guys have here with that office. So I'm proud to say that in less than 2 years, we have built over 150 miles of fiber in Sussex County. We've connected 1,600 homes to a fiber to the home system that is state of the art and offers multi-gigabit services that are as good as anywhere in the state, anywhere in the world, frankly. And the feedback we've received has been just absolutely tremendous from the people. It's really life-changing, from people that went from using their cellular plans with high data caps to now having unlimited data and the fastest speeds anywhere in the world. So once again, thank you, Governor Carney. Thank you to the amazing Delaware Broadband Office for this opportunity, and the future is bright here in Delaware. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming. We have the next phase of our programs, $107 million from the BEAD program. So we are not even close to done. We need to keep going until every Delawarean is connected. You can review our proposal for BEAD up on our website, broadband.delaware.gov. Delaware was recently named one of the fastest moving states to connect every Delawarean, which we're really excited about. So please review the plan. And watch this space for what happens next. Thank you all. And folks will be available for questions right after this. And please feel free to review the trucks, the equipment that our ISPs have brought out today. And thank you all for being here. Thank you.